Not every clone was bred for frontline combat. Behind the legendary battles of the Clone Wars stood an army of specialists, each with a unique role, purpose, and story. From elite snipers and covert assassins to engineers and janitors, the Grand Army of the Republic was far more diverse than most fans realize. Here's every clone class you didn't know existed. Ark Troopers, short for Advanced Recon Commandos, were the Republic's answer to surgical precision. Handpicked from the best of the best, Ark Troopers were elite clones trained to handle missions so dangerous, even regular troopers couldn't touch them. Some of the earliest Ark Troopers were reportedly trained by Jango Fett himself. That's how serious this unit was. Their gear was upgraded too. More durable armor, enhanced mobility, and customizable attachments like pauldrons, rangefinders, and commas. Ark Troopers often worked alongside Jedi, but what made them special was their independence. They could act without Jedi command, think on their feet, and lead under extreme pressure. That's why they were so respected. Two of the most iconic Arks? Echo and Fives. You shouldn't need an introduction to those names, and if you don't know Fives, you're seriously missing out. Go look him up now. His death, devastating. No moment in Star Wars has come closer to making us cry. Fives was the greatest clone to ever live, and yes, we're still upset with Commander Fox for pulling the trigger.
Sorry!
But if Ark Troopers were elite, clone commandos were something even more exclusive. The elite of the elites. These guys were bred and trained from day one for the most dangerous, high-stakes missions the Republic had. Commandos operated in tight-knit squads, moving separately from the standard clone legions, taking on objectives no one else could handle. Delta Squad, of course, is the most famous of them all, a symbol of everything a commando was supposed to be: brave, tactical, and terrifyingly effective. Outfitted with Katarn-class armor, they had the best protection and functionality available. This armor featured thicker plating, HUDs with night vision, adaptive camouflage, and even a built-in vibroblade in the wrist. It could absorb blaster fire and withstand heavy explosions. Their weapon of choice? The DC-17M interchangeable system, a blaster that could quickly switch into sniper or anti-armor mode. These guys were ready for anything. Outside of Delta Squad, Gregor stands out too. His final stand in the Clone Wars is one of the most heroic in the entire series. And sure, the Bad Batch didn't do the Commandos justice, but in our eyes, they're still the ultimate operators. Now let's talk about defective clones. Known by their designation CT-99, these clones were born with genetic mutations that made them different from the standard soldiers. Initially dismissed as failures because they strayed from Jango Fett's original design, they later proved to be anything but. Each of them possessed unique skills and enhancements that made them valuable in ways most clones couldn't understand. Clone Force 99, aka the Bad Batch, was named in honor of Maintenance Clone 99, an unsung hero in his own right. This squad included Hunter with his enhanced tracking skills, Wrecker with brute strength and zero fear, Tech, the tech wizard with unmatched intelligence, and Crosshair, a cold and calculating sniper with deadshot precision. There's also Muzzle, but let's be honest, no one really knows anything about him, so we'll move on. These defective clones were often mocked, seen as outsiders by the broader clone community, but their mutations gave them something powerful: the ability to think differently, fight unconventionally, and pull off missions that others couldn't. And of course, they've got their own animated series if you want to learn more. Then there were the Ark Troopers. These guys were all about speed, maneuverability, and recon. Named after the speeder bikes they rode into battle, BRC troopers excelled at navigating treacherous terrain in record time. They relayed vital intel, led ground forces through hazards, and sometimes carried out surgical strikes or assassinations. To do all that, they wore lighter, more agile armor suited for high-speed combat, equipped with advanced communication systems that let them stay in contact even across great distances. One of the most well-known Ark Troopers is Commander Neo. Yes, the same one seen in Revenge of the Sith carrying out Order 66 against Stas Alley. And then we have the Purge Troopers, easily among the most terrifying products of the Empire. After the Clone Wars, these soldiers were brought in to wipe out the last remaining Jedi. Part of the Empire's expendable death squads, they were trained and deployed under the Inquisitors, those dark side agents obsessed with hunting Jedi. Purge Troopers were equipped with reinforced armor and specialized weapons designed specifically to counter Jedi abilities. Their role was clear: find any survivors of Order 66 and make sure they didn't live to tell the tale. Purge Troopers often worked alongside Inquisitors Navigators as some of the last remaining clones still serving under the Empire. These soldiers represented just how far Palpatine was willing to go to crush resistance and erase the Jedi Order from history. Cold, efficient, and expendable, Purge Troopers embodied the Empire's cruelty, proving that even the Republic's most loyal warriors were just tools in the Emperor's quest for total domination. Now, for one of the most overlooked clone units, Special Operations Troopers, also called Stealth Ops clones or Leia Troopers because of their helmet's uncanny resemblance to Princess Leia's hair buns. These elite units were trained for infiltration, sabotage, and high-risk missions behind enemy lines. They hunted high-value targets and struck deep into Separatist territory undetected. To stay hidden, they wore specialized black or camouflage armor and used advanced sensory tech. Their helmets enhanced sight in low light and picked up faint sounds, giving them the edge in stealth-based combat. One standout is Commander Jet, who led Stealth Ops forces in the Second Battle of Geonosis. And then we've got Shadow Troopers, arguably some of the most dangerous clones the Republic ever produced. These operatives were trained for long-term infiltration, sabotage, and deep cover missions. They were so elite they could pose as bounty hunters, mercenaries, or even members of criminal groups like the Hutt Cartel, all to gather intel, weaken defenses, and prep the battlefield for full-scale invasions. They didn't just rely on stealth, they became it. Their armor was based on Phase 2 clone trooper designs but came with heavy modifications. Detachable plating let them blend in with other factions, and their gait could be adjusted to avoid detection. Their red glowing visors weren't just for show, they added to the intimidation factor. Shadow Troopers carried DC-19 stealth carbines, complete with sound suppressors and the option to fire invisible blaster bolts. Yeah, basically the James Bonds of the clone army. Now let's rapid fire through some of the more obscure clone variants. Ready? Clone Sharpshooters were trained snipers specializing in long-range accuracy and battlefield surveillance. Equipped with DC-15X sniper rifles, they were patient, precise, and deadly from a distance. Think classic military sniper, camouflage, positioning, and silence. They often operated alone or in pairs, gathering intel, eliminating high-value targets, and disrupting enemy command lines. Their presence on the battlefield could break morale without ever being seen. Some were even skilled spotters, relaying targeting data to artillery or orbital support. Their role demanded intense focus, discipline, and nerves of steel. Magma Troopers were built for extreme heat. Deployed to volcanic worlds like Mustafar, they wore red, heat-resistant scout armor. They were introduced post-Clone Wars, and honestly, the only visual we've got looks like a recolored scout trooper. So how canon are they? Up to you. In universe, these troopers were said to specialize in navigating lava flows, surviving toxic fumes, and engaging in high-temperature combat scenarios. Their gear likely included cooling systems and thermal sensors, though lightly referenced. Their existence raises questions about secret deployments and missions long buried by Imperial records. Dans mon esprit tout divin, je me perds dans tes yeux. Covert Operations Troopers were the Republic's secret enforcers. Their missions? Dirty work, desertion, betrayal, political threats. If it needed to disappear quietly, these clones handled it. Reporting directly to Palpatine or Black Ops commanders, their work never showed up in official records. These clones operated in plainclothes or stealth armor, blending into urban environments and enemy territory. They were often trained in interrogation, assassination, and infiltration. The few glimpses of their operations suggest they were the Republic's version of intelligence agents, ensuring absolute control through fear and precision. Clone Navigators kept Republic fleets running smoothly. They charted hyperspace routes, coordinated formations, and worked side by side with Jedi and fleet officers. Without them, battles would have turned into total chaos. Navigators handled real-time adjustments in fleet movement, adapting to ambushes, gravitational anomalies, or blockades. Many were stationed aboard Venator-class Star Destroyers and contributed directly to space combat tactics. Their ability to calculate jumps under pressure saved countless lives and ensured Republic ships could escape or outmaneuver Separatist forces during large-scale engagement. Intelligence officers were the brains behind the war effort. These clones decoded transmissions, analyzed enemy strategies, and pinpointed weaknesses in Separatist defenses. They weren't frontline fighters, but their impact was just as deadly. Working closely with Jedi tacticians, they provided essential data for ambushes, raids, and rescue operations. Some even went undercover cover to collect intelligence firsthand. Whether inside war rooms or deep within enemy networks, intelligence officers shaped the outcome of campaigns before the first shot was even fired. Their work was meticulous, calculated, and sometimes morally gray. General officers were high-ranking tactical commanders who worked closely with Jedi generals. They made sure orders were executed, strategies refined, and troops coordinated in the heat of battle. Unlike standard clone commanders, these officers oversaw larger units, sometimes entire battalions or legions. They were seasoned veterans, often promoted from ARC or specialized divisions. Their job required quick thinking, adaptability, and flawless communication with Jedi leadership. These clones weren't just soldiers, they were war planners, ensuring the Republic's massive military force moved with purpose and cohesion across entire star systems. Maintenance clones like the legendary 99 handled base upkeep and janitorial duties. Many were sidelined from combat due to genetic mutations or disabilities, but without them, Republic operations would have fallen apart behind the scenes. These clones performed critical roles in maintaining infrastructure, cleaning, logistics, and supply lines. While often overlooked, their presence ensured clean environments, functioning equipment, and stable day-to-day operations. Some even developed deep bonds with frontline troopers, offering emotional support and morale boosts. Their loyalty to the cause, despite their limitations, made them true unsung heroes. Artillery troopers manned the Republic's cannons, mortars, and long-range weaponry. They stayed behind the front lines, providing devastating fire support that could turn the tide of any ground assault. Trained in targeting systems and trajectory calculations, these clones could shell enemy positions with pinpoint accuracy. Artillery units worked in sync with spotters and aerial recon to avoid friendly fire. Some specialized in anti-aircraft defense, while others operated massive siege cannons capable of leveling fortresses. Their firepower created openings for infantry and armor to push forward under cover. Engineers handled in-field vehicle repairs. Outfitted with yellow-trimmed armor and equipped with tools and scanners, these clones fixed walkers, tanks, and ships under heavy fire, sometimes while under siege. Their armor often carried additional plating for protection during battlefield repairs. Engineers were also responsible for constructing fortifications, disarming traps, and laying demolition charges when needed. Their versatility made them indispensable in prolonged engagements. Whether patching up a downed ATTE or restoring power to a damaged base, these clones kept the Republic's tech alive under the worst conditions. Commino Guard troopers were tasked with defending Commino and other aquatic worlds. They operated under the authority of the Kaminoans and were trained in underwater combat to protect cloning facilities from both separatist attack and internal threats. Wearing unique blue and white armor adapted for wet environments, they patrolled cloning chambers, guarded supply lines, and quelled uprisings with brutal efficiency. Their loyalty was split. Some answered directly to the Kaminoans, others to the Republic. This dual allegiance made them mysterious and occasionally controversial figures during the war. Blaze troopers were absolute tanks, armed with jetpacks, flamethrowers, and powered exoskeletons that boosted speed and strength. These guys launched into enemy lines, crushing droids and incinerating anything in their path. They even resemble early Dark Troopers, possibly serving as their prototype. Their suits likely featured enhanced durability, thermal resistance, and target tracking systems. Their flame-based tactics were brutal but effective in trench warfare and urban combat, clearing enemy positions block by block. Few units could match their fear factor on the battlefield, especially when they descended from above. Clone assassins were secret operatives created directly by Palpatine. Their existence was unknown to the Jedi Order. Designed to hunt Force users, they were trained in techniques and weapons specifically meant to kill Jedi. Some even accompanied Vader during the purge of the Jedi Temple after Order 66. These assassins operated in total darkness, figuratively and literally. Using stealth fields, cloaking devices, and neurotoxin darts, they struck swiftly and without mercy. Their training was brutal, their minds conditioned for total obedience. These clones were precision instruments of the Sith. Heavy assault troopers were built for brute force, wearing reinforced armor and packing explosives, breaching tools, and heavy blasters. These clones spearheaded attacks on fortified enemy positions. Think door kickers, leading the charge and clearing the way. At least that's how they worked in the classic Battlefront games. In canon, their roles included bunker busting, demolitions, and storming hardpoints under suppressive fire. They often worked in tight units alongside Flame or Ark Troopers, whether clearing out droid factories or storming separatist hideouts. These clones brought chaos and firepower wherever they landed. And that's it. Every known type of clone trooper in Star Wars. If you missed part 1, be sure to give that one a listen. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out more related content shown on screen,